Hey, man, what's going on, Derek? How are you?
Dude, I've been keeping busy. How about yourself, man?
Not too bad, just stirring stuff up on the internet. That's what I do.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. New year, same old you.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't really to like cause any problems or anything like that. It's just I just see a lot of stuff that's posted in these, big group chats. Of people asking questions and they get lit up, and I feel like that they're sincerely asking a legit question
Yeah.
and people just take it too far. So I just like let's just see if we can just get some professional people who's in the barbecue community to kind of help see the light through all the mud, right? Type scenario.
Right.
So that's what I'm kind of going with. And then yeah, the feed kind of took off. I for example, I threw it out there. People that cook on pellet grills, are they pit masters? I'm going to handle this question right now, right out of the box. Yes, they are. It's not about how many pits you own or how many you've cooked on. Is it the pit that you have mastered yourself at home? Do you feel confident going to that pellet smoker and cooking a fantastic brisket, tri-tip, anything that you cook? Are you confident and you will execute it every single time? If you can, I consider that as you are your own pit master. What do you think, Derek?
I see your point. Completely valid. And so that's what's so hard with me is because I like to see it. I like to look at both sides of the story. That's what I find kind of challenging for me when you're like hot takes. And I'm like, oh, but I can always see both sides. Right. Just because I can do the brakes on my car, right? I can do the front and rear. I can hang pads. I can do rotors. Does that make me a mechanic? Right. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I'm a mechanic. I can do anything you throw at me. Okay, well, I got this BMW that's, 30 years old and I need you to do this on it. It's like, okay, different story because things are different. But yeah, I can completely understand that through my barbecue journey, like going through working at a barbecue restaurant and working with gas assist, working with Old Hickory pits. And this is no way I plug, but just conveniently I happen to have this. it was a matter of real life. That was my whole objective. I want to be the pit master of the barbecue restaurant. And I learned the ins and outs of the pits that we had on site. We brought on more pits later down the road. I knew how to work on them. I knew how to swap the pieces out, where to get them, source them, everything, and know the temperaments of that pit. So you're right. Yeah. If you have a pellet cooker, you know the ins and outs of it. You can repair it. You can fix it. You know how to rig it. If it's raining, if it's snowing, you know the tricks of the trade, if you will. So in a sense, yeah, maybe there's different calibers or levels of being a pit master then, right? Because now you take me out of the restaurant at that time from working gas assist, and they're like, all right, I need you to run these 3 1,000 gallon offset cookers running strictly on wood. Then that's a different story at that point, right?
Then you're a beginner again. You're not a pit master of that
100%. 100%.
So, and honestly, talking to some of these professionals that have been doing it a long time, Harry Sue's a fine example. He comes at it as, I'll never be a pit master. And I kind of like that because you can never actually you'll never be able to master anything, especially with how technology changes. So you're more, I feel like pit masters are more of a student base.
And I think you nailed it. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And then reason why when this first podcast started, we named it the Pit Masters Podcast. I'm not the pit master. My co-host, you are not the pit master. The pit masters are the people that are actually cooking on their home pits and taking from what we're learning and implementing that into their daily game. So,
and they're the kings and queens of their cul-de-sacs, right? They're the ones taking care of the community, their friends, their neighbors, their family, everybody, right? And I love that. Absolutely.
Yep. So that just handles that hot question right out the gate. Looks like we got a couple people to jump in. We got a couple actually really good people that I've known for a little while that are fantastic cooks. They're going to jump in here, and we're just going to, shoot some things down that, the internet's kind of ruining for people, and let's spit some facts and just trying to clear out the mud in the water, man.
Love it.
So let's go do that, man.
This is the single best investment you can make to become a better cook.
Thermapen 1 is the best thermometer I've ever had.
My thermometer of choice is ThermoWorks.
When it comes to quality that I can trust, this is the company that I go to over and over again.
There may be other thermometers out there, but there aren't other Thermapen.
Welcome to the show, Nate Benson and Scott Nardi. How's it going? Man,
good. How you guys doing?
We got some presents here right now. So you guys ready to talk some hot takes and just try to, this isn't like we're not going to try to, badmouth each other. It's just we're going to see our point of views and, and just see if we can just figure it out. And I'm going to start it off with this one right here. everybody's a steaks cook except for Derek. Derek, you've never really competed in SCA, right?
Not on purpose, no.
Yeah, right. So there's a new thing out there. It is called the jackpot. This is what it's an additional stake entry, but they use the leftover stakes for this to be able to, maybe win a golden ticket. It's a great thing for promoters to be able to offload their stakes. Nate, I'm pretty sure you can speak all about that. But here's my hot take on it. Why am when I did one of these tastings, why did a Tri-Heart come across to my judging palette? There should have never been a Tri-Heart left on that table for it to come through for the jackpot. There's my hot take question. Go ahead and fire away.
The question I had I specifically asked this to Brett and Ken when they proposed it to me. We were one of the first to do it at one of my comps. Are we supposed to tell them that they can only use one of the two they get? And they said as long as they got it at the competition, it was fine to use. So if they did the double and then the jackpot, they got 6 stakes. Pick your best 3.
Scott.
Well, just like if you're going to cook an SCA double and you get 4 stakes, right? You got 2 for stake A, 2 for stake B. Does it matter what stake you turn in for stake A or stake B? I don't know. You got them all there. It all came from the same source. They don't. They can't really supervise you and make sure that you're turning in. Oh, this came from stake selection A. You have to use one of these two. So it's kind of, hey, if you got a good steak, cook it, turn it in. I don't know.
Got it. And how do you feel about this, Derek, coming from the judge's aspect?
Well, I've never even judged an SCA, so I have no visibility to that at all. Like I said, I accidentally cooked an SCA because I went along with BMAC and Barbecue back in 2022 or 23 to the Royal Oak Invitational out in Georgia, and they threw everybody into an SCA. So they're like, everybody was there to compete and cook on the KCBS side, and then they had some SCA teams that were there. So we were under the pressure, like, okay, the KCBS teams will do their thing, and SCA guys will do it. They're like, no. Everybody who got invited and everybody's here is participating in the SCA. And we're like, I don't have a press to, we don't have grill grates. I'm like, are you serious? So like, you guys use burger presses or something along those to weigh the steak down so you can get your grill marks, right? We came across some grill grates. We borrowed some, but we went into the woods and found a rock to weigh down our steak. We wrapped it in foil. And we just were like, all right, we're putting weight on that steak and we're getting some grill marks. Yeah. So, even the visibility of it too, like you said, going up there and just kind of like, all right, you got to select steaks. What are we looking for? You're like, you worked in a butcher shop. You should know what to look for. I'm like, that's great marbling. There's a Tri-Heart. I'm like, I'd go for that one right there. Like, let's do this. Like quality, this and that, the trim on it and everything. So so for me, what you're telling me by the sounds of it for this jackpot, whatever they're giving you to see a Tri-Heart. I don't know. Maybe there was some, there could have been so many different variances in the beginning on the front side as to like, hey, that was my go-to. But all of a sudden now that we're, actually, finagling with it and it's like, this is not our best choice. So, for some reason it got benched and rolled over to the jackpot, or they really wanted to bank on the jackpot, right? Is that something you can do? Can you save your best cut and roll it over to that one? And that's, you're basically sandbagging everybody.
You could, but there's no payouts on the jackpot. It's just points.
Oh, so it's points. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's points and bragging rights, if that.
Well, you can win a golden ticket. You have another option.
You can get a golden ticket. If you need a golden ticket, that might not be a bad option. Hang on to that great steak.
Yeah, you run that play, get the golden ticket. You don't have to do that again later down the road. So I don't know. Maybe there's some strategy to this.
There is, but I don't think it's any different than cooking any other steak. If you're cooking a triple, you get 6 steaks. You're going to cook your 3 best steaks to turn in.
Right. Are triples common?
Not so much anymore.
Not so much. We're lucky to
doubles
get
are more common. Even with the double, you get 4 steaks. You're cooking your best steaks.
Yeah.
So whichever. I don't know. If they all came from the promoter, they all came from the same source.
Yeah, right.
I guess the spirit of the rules is, you get your jackpot steak after the last turn in and speed round, but there's a lot of gray area to work in there.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, Nate?
I think, you know, cook your best 3 steaks personally.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I'm on the same page with you.
Now, if I had
Yeah.
a third try heart, you know, I'm really happy.
Well, right. If you
Yeah,
got an
right.
extra one of them laying around, why wouldn't
Right.
you?
Right. That's just one of those things. I'm just like, oh man, I feel like there has to be more of a level playing field personally. I don't know how to fix that. You can't really tag meat. You can't really put a badge on it, you know, but I just feel like if everybody's cooking with, say like you got terrible picks and you're drawing, you just have bad steaks, you know, and everybody else has these better advantages over you. I think it's kind of a slight disadvantage in the jackpot series, but
Yeah.
that's just my input.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of them I won one time was the worst steak I thought I ever turned in, so I never know.
It's true. I
Right.
agree with you on that because man, Worlds, when I was down there 2 years ago, I cooked the worst steak I thought I've ever cooked in my SCA career. And that was the first place steak in my group and got me to finals. So
Well, yeah, and like one of them I picked, I'm like, this is the worst steak I've ever picked off a table.
yeah.
I turn in, feel like I have a crappy cook, and then whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you can't count anything out until
Yep.
the numbers are called. It's crazy.
right.
I've been ready to throw steaks in the garbage before, and glad I didn't.
I've done that. I've done that before. Actually, that happened at Worlds 2 years before. Yeah. My first year, actually. I screwed up the steak and I threw it right in the trash can and went and grabbed for another one. Went straight to the trash can. It was crazy.
my first win, I cooked that thing, and I remember I was just cussing on the way to turn in.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was I thought I overcooked it. It was just messed up every which way, and it got me my first golden ticket.
Got it.
Sounds like good thing we're not the judges.
All right.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a terrible judge. I've tried it before.
Right. So I'll do one more, and then you guys can jump in. There is let's do this one. Brisket is more difficult to cook than a turkey breast.
It's definitely a longer cook.
Yes,
So
but
because it's a longer cook, it gives you more time to screw it up. I don't know. Maybe I fell asleep during my cook. You know, like, oh no, I think I fell.
Well, I'm just coming from my aspect. I can go to any barbecue restaurant and have decent brisket. You know, most people concentrate on brisket.
I've had bad brisket
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all have.
bad brisket.
at a restaurant. Absolutely.
I don't know where you're going. Where everyone you get is good brisket.
But I've been to some barbecue restaurants where the turkey is just dried out and terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that brisket and turkey are probably some of the most difficult smokes on your traditional meats.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel?
Turkey, you can ruin real fast.
Yes.
I don't know. For me, when I'm traveling around and I'm hitting up like a destination barbecue location, I always get the turkey.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where I weigh a lot of my judgment on is, did they nail the turkey or not?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly me. I feel like if you're in an established barbecue restaurant, you should be able to cook turkey very consistently every single time.
Yeah. And I mean, brisket it can be a tough cook, but if you're sourcing quality briskets and you have a good program and good procedures and you've got some talent in the pitmasters, it's not that hard to repeat once you get that training phase down and somebody recognizes what's tender, what's done, and you have good quality, you know, good marbled brisket. It's pretty easy to turn out a pretty good brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd
Turkey?
say if I screw
you're
one up,
really
it's gonna be
looking at
turkey.
temperatures.
It's gonna be turkey every time if I screw one up.
Thank you for being open and being able to admit that. That's to be vulnerable like that. That's great.
Because turkey, like brisket, you have, you know, if it goes too long, it's still tender and juicy. It's just crumbly. a little bit crumbly.
Right.
Turkey, you go, 5 degrees too long, which can happen in a matter of minutes, and it's dry and
Agreed.
So my first gut reaction was, brisket's harder, but no, I think it's opposite. I think it is turkey you have to pay more attention to.
Yeah.
There we go.
Brisket's more intimidating just because it's a big, expensive cut. But once you cook a few of them and you get a process down, I agree. I think it's the easier cook.
Yeah.
So you would tell somebody brand new with a pellet cooker, what should I cook first? Should I do a turkey breast?
Definitely
or should I
go
do a
spend
brisket?
$130 on a brisket.
Get an SRF gold and throw that on your pit.
The other thing is, that most people haven't had really good turkey, so they don't.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
Most people haven't. Most people haven't really had really good turkey yet. As to answer your question there, Derek, definitely do a pork butt first.
Oh, geez, that wasn't even in the equation.
Right.
Yes, that's the default. That's always the default for their first long cook is a pork butt. You're not going to screw it up.
Yeah.
First smoke is bacon. Second smoke is pork butt.
Okay.
Ooh.
There you go.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Got you that. All right. So Nate, what do you got any hot takes for us?
I like the fat up, fat down.
Yes. Fat up or fat down on brisket. Let's talk about it.
What are you cooking on?
People
Exactly.
say this is
Okay.
I think this is where he's going with this is people say that if you put the fat up, you get a better flavor
On what?
So
on brisket.
on what?
Yeah.
And my answer is, what are you cooking on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All things equal, I do cook fat up. But if I'm on the lower rack of a pellet grill, or if I'm, doing multiple on a drum, that bottom one's probably fat down and the top one's probably fat up.
Yeah. I'm a true believer of the fat between the heat, right? The meat and the heat.
Yeah.
You put that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, exactly. And unless you have some other buffer, that's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like a water pan, is that what you're thinking? Like a water pan?
If you're doing two in a drum and you've got one down, you can have the top one up because you've got the other one in between.
You're turning that bottom one into a heat deflector. Hell yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
So-
What do you think, Scott?
And it's fat towards the heat. If I'm rocking a brisket on the drum, I'm going fat side down.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of overnight briskets on the pellet grill, and I throw a water pan in there as a diverter, fat side up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let the convection do its job. I don't
Right.
know.
What about you, Derek? Are you same scenario? The fat is the barrier.
I think we're all too seasoned because I think we've also had a lot of trial and error, seeing how we've taken and gone through the trenches with this. It depends on the cooker. So I know for me, from the restaurant side, if I'm cooking on an Old Hickory SSL, those big ones, those have rotating rack. They have rotisserie racks, so I can do them fat side up, equal heat distribution. So they just Cadillac. Versus if I'm cooking on my CTO at home, I start with fat side down and then I flip it back up. And then usually I have something in there. Usually I have other briskets in there or something else in there to run as a deflector as well. But I'll start it. I don't know why. It just seemed to work out better. I was really happier with that product when I did it on a CTO like that. Starting it first couple, like 4 hours or so, fat side down, then flipping it. And I was like happy with those results because the fat just started to render and make its way down.
Got it. So does fat equal flavor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried 90-10 for a burger? I'm not that excited about it.
I was going to say to a point. There's a point,
right?
It's fast, just fat.
Yeah. Get some grass-fed 90-10 ground beef and make a burger out of that and tell me if you're happy.
Right.
Oh, I think a lot of people get hung up though on equipment when you're talking fat side up, fat side down. There's a lot of people that have never cooked on variable equipment. You know,
Right.
you
Very
get
true.
offset guys that are preaching a gospel over here about fat up, fat up.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get drum guys talking about no, fat down, fat down. It's got to be this way, one or the other. without really taking into account that who's cooking on what and what's their experience level. And I think for new cooks, it's easy to buy in to what experienced cooks are saying. If you see some established cooks saying this is how you do it, you don't understand that they're saying this is how you do it on this equipment.
Right.
Completely valid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great point.
I think
Great
that's
point.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
Is we get so accustomed to making these statements without the back, the behind the scenes information.
Yeah, like you said, knowing the background. And that was a common question I would get working behind a meat counter when they'd be too intimidated to get a packer brisket. They would be like, all right, I'm getting a brisket flat. I'm like, okay. And you see them kind of hesitant, and I'll just ask the question, what are you going to cook this on? I'm going to cook it on a pellet cooker. You have any suggestions? I'm like, okay, here's what you need to do. I suggest don't do just a flat. How about you get a packer? I'll get you a small one, but look at this. Here's what you're going to do. Then you start to get an idea of what they're doing versus, a lot of times if they do ask for help, that's the first question I'll ask. What are you cooking on? So I feel like everybody in this discussion here, we know that it all depends on the equipment and what you're trying to achieve as well. Now the question is there's a hot take right there for brisket. Do you wrap or not wrap? Butcher paper or aluminum foil? Okay, that's my hot take. Let's piggyback on that. All right,
let's do that. Yes, in Utah at Art Elevation, always wrap, especially with foil.
So what are you trying to accomplish?
Exactly.
It comes down.
You're
to
looking
that.
for background again, right?
If you are someone that I went to a class one time, and they were just all about the bark. Like was their end all be all. And so they didn't wrap. And that was the way to get the driest, hardest bark.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you're after that, absolutely don't wrap. I always wrap a brisket. And I'm always in foil.
What's your goal?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you cooking for your family? Are you cooking for comp? What's the goal?
Exactly.
And 9 times
what
out
are you
of 10
trying
from
to
what
accomplish?
yes. And 9 times out of 10 from what I've seen, the one thing I'll ask them, are you trying to impress people or what's your goal? And they'll always tell you, I'm trying to impress my family. I'm trying to impress my guests coming over for Super Bowl. Okay. Wrap and foil. Huh? I'm like, do you care about bark? They're like, no, I just want it to be tender. I don't want anybody to tell me anything negative. I don't want them to talk shit that I couldn't do it. Okay. You want tender brisket? Wrap it in foil. Texas crutch. What's a crutch?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it. That's the best way. You're going to steam it at the end and
It's
you're going to nice and
gonna get
tender. And it's going to get tender and you're going to contain everything within there. Now,
Exactly.
and they
And you have
produce
the jus.
phenomenal product. Yeah, right. And that's the other thing. Are you adding consomme or au jus or anything else, beef stock to it? Everybody has their own path that they like to take when it comes to that. So, but I think with this season panel that we have here, we know what probing questions we need to ask when going into this. And then, again, do you guys see a benefit using peach paper or butcher paper?
Me personally, not. Only reason why I say that is I don't cook with it because of the elevation that we're cooking at. I don't want to risk, especially when I'm cooking a high end brisket. I don't want to risk of pushing out moisture that I don't need to. So that's why I stay with the foil. If I do go to a butcher paper, I'm cooking with a foil boat to maintain moisture as well. But there's foil involved during this cook all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's completely valid too. And you guys have mentioned this several times as elevation. I think some people don't realize. Me, I'm in sunny San Diego, like it hardly rains. And we're at sea level. So we don't worry about elevation. But when you're at elevation, it's thinner, the air is thinner, and then also boiling temperature is a lot lower. So people are used to, well, I need to cook it for X amount of time and get to this desired temperature. Well, when you're at elevation, you're not going to get anywhere close to that desired temp. You're not going to hit 212 on that brisket if it's a Wagyu. You just now have to understand how to cook and what tenderness is going to feel like.
Right.
So
now it's time.
Yes.
Yep. And that's I guess I'm fortunate with that in Wisconsin. I don't really have to worry about elevation, so it's kind of lean towards the foil boat. I like a heavy bark if I'm eating, but for comp, it's getting a foil wrap, 100%. Cooking at home, love the foil boat. Get some crunchy bark on it.
Yeah, exactly. Nate's probably cooks a ton of briskets with catering as well too. So I'm pretty sure you lean towards foil as well for cost efficiency and production levels as well.
Looking for consistency.
And ease. And
Exactly. Exactly.
And I wrap a little bit earlier than a lot of people because to retain a lot of those juices that you get off of it. And
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I find
Yeah.
if you go until, it's deep in the stall, you lose quite a bit of that. And I like to
Moisture.
keep
Mhm.
that. Well, just capture those pan juices to then redistribute on it after I've sliced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Well, here we go. This hurts Brennan Nelson. Rusty Monson called him out and said all steak cooks are not pit masters at one point on this show. It is documented and recorded, and Brennan Nelson took offense to this. Are steak cooks pit masters? Oh, Scott says no.
Nope. I'm with Rusty on that one. That's a grill.
Yeah,
It's hot and fast.
All right, let's look at it this way. Okay, I got a great take on this now. Again, restaurant background. So the second you tell me, all right, you're pulling off these meats, you're pulling off chicken, you're pulling off pork butts, you're pulling off briskets, trices, whatever. You're pulling it off a pit. You're the pit master, right? Now, the second somebody in the restaurant orders a steak, is that the pit master doing it, or is it the line cook throwing it on the flat top? Or
Usually the line cook
charred
on the flat.
Yeah.
top.
It's a line
Exactly.
cook, right?
Yep.
I want to
It's-
call them pit masters, but it sounds like they're the redheaded stepchild, I guess.
No, it's a grill. It's a 5-minute cook. And it's hilarious because it can be a really complicated 5-minute cook. There's a lot
Really?
that goes
There
into it.
is.
There
And
is.
there's a lot
yes.
to manage.
There's still
Yeah.
a lot
You
of
can't
attention to
call-
detail.
Pit master. You're not tending a fire for hours
But-
on end.
but
you're not
this goes back to-
babysitting anything.
This goes all the way back to the start of this discussion. Is what grill you are working with, and are you able to master that? Are you able to understand it fully from how it works from start to finish?
Right.
You understand your hot spots. So I'm just going to throw the devil's edge out there I agree with you, but I'm going to throw that other edge out there. You got to consider that too. Is that grill, that M16, that C4, whatever you're cooking on, you have to understand how that grill works to be able to cook that steak successfully.
For sure. You absolutely have to. But does that make you a pit master or a grill master?
yeah, maybe you're a grill master,
Right.
Well,
It's kind of like, I get it. It's cooking with fire, but it's kind of two different games.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Brennan,
it is.
I'm sorry to say this, but you were on the list of the grill greats list. So I didn't see anything about pitmaster on that list. It was all grill greats. So,
But he is cooking one mean rack of ribs this year.
that's true. So,
So,
Right. So
his steaks may not qualify him for it, but his ribs do.
right. And that's all still an SEA event. So technically a steak cook pitmaster. It's a great question, Brendan. That's fantastic. That one still seems pretty tabled.
But no, I think it was a great question to throw out there and get a take on it. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Scott, what do you have for a hot take, man?
Oh,
He has a list.
Oh, look. Yeah, he has a list. He had to
some stuff down. Prime rib sucks.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
It's just another seasoned ribeye with no sear on it. We're just into the new year. Everybody's around the holidays. Everybody's talking about the rib roasts, and I don't know.
Yes.
I don't understand the fascination. It's a big hunk of beef with no seasoning.
Yes, we just talked about this. On the last episode we talked about this, and Jesse said, "Well, he goes, you can get flavor in there by injecting it." Then I counteract of that is, you don't inject that type of beef. Now you're exposing to bacteria, right? So I agree 100% with you, Scott. Prime rib does suck. There's a reason why they have horseradish sauce, because you need to add flavor to it because it sucks.
Exactly.
in the middle. But
end up spending a lot of time building jus and building,
yes, exactly.
finished salt and all that to make sure it tastes good.
And at that point, it's why not just go get a roast beef sandwich from Arby's?
Right.
Who's keeping them in business? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Who's keeping Arby's in business?
Prime rib lovers.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Derek? Are you prime rib suck?
I can understand how they can suck, yes. But the ones I've done, I've just simplified and just put it on a pellet cooker.
Mhm.
I don't cook them very often. When specialty market during holiday season, some people are just even too lazy to just place their order at the meat counter. They're like, I want it seasoned and cooked too. It's like, okay, so that was easy for us to do.
Yeah.
No injection, just oven prepared, season it up, a little bit of Worcestershire, whatever it is, and they still came out phenomenal. They really did.
Yeah.
I think it's, some people see it as a pain, and some people are just like, let it ride. For me, it's just let it ride. It's easy because you just got to monitor the temperature and just make sure you don't go over, and just remember to rest it.
What?
Yeah.
Some people
Are you
forget
taking that home, or are you just cooking it to sell it?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
right. So are you going to take that prime rib home and eat it, or are you just going to sell it to somebody that can't do it themselves?
Well, that was the custom order too, so we would sell it to them because that's what they wanted. So, but I still took pride in looking at it because it's like, I got to cut into this and be like, hey,
well,
it looks
hey,
good.
somebody's paying you for it. Make it the best you can, right?
100% because I want them to come back.
Exactly.
So, but it's
so
during that time,
what they want.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's traditional. I think more people are gravitating towards. That's why you see more people like, oh, I'd rather do a brisket than a prime rib. A lot more flavor. You have different choices between you want lean or fatty, and then bark or burn ends. But prime rib is very traditional, like you said. That's why there is the horseradish on the side to help spice it up. And then it can get labor intensive to trying to make the au jus and everything else. It's kind of hard, but for me, it's not that bad. But I don't do them that often anymore.
For me, when I do cook, when I get that first cut, I get that end with all the seasoning and smoke and flavor.
Yes.
Oh yeah, right.
That's the pit. That is the pitmaster's cut. The cook's cut.
Try hard. Try hard end.
Exactly. Exactly. We need more people to comment. The 5 people that are watching, there's more watching. Go ahead and comment. But Brandon has another great one. He wants to know about the tools fixing the grill lines in SCA steaks.
Oh,
how do you guys feel about this? I'm not gonna lie, I painted lines twice, and they were horrible. I have the painting tools if needed, but I prefer not to rely on them as a crutch whatsoever. Only reason why I actually did use them is one, I forgot to spray my grill down and I ripped off my lines, so I had a backup plan. But I am anti line fixing tools. We're grilling great steaks. When they go across that, I don't know how many of you guys judge an SCA event, but when they're coming across the table, you have about 3 seconds to look at it. You say yes or no, and then you're moving on to tasting it. The lines don't make a huge difference. I can get judges in here that will agree with me that the lines are probably the least things that we look at.
Is that the equivalency of garnish in KCBS?
Pretty much.
Okay, so garnish doesn't matter. You don't have to put it in there, but you get docked if you don't garnish. So same thing with grill lines. If they're not there, you're gonna probably get docked.
You're not supposed to, but you will.
Okay, like I said, it's an unwritten rule. We know you're gonna get docked. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, the garnish.
Yeah.
See, I fix if needed.
If I fix if needed, is it every competition you have it going? Or you talking?
No.
What do you think your ratio is? Are you like 75-25 on fixing steaks? What do you think your ratio is?
It's probably 50-50.
Okay.
And what degree are you talking? Because does that count like picking off with tweezers the extra, little gunk that's along them, or
the little fuzzies?
Yeah, the little pellets or what charred, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty meticulous when I'm looking it over at the end. But
yeah. What about you, Scott?
If I'm fixing lines, it's an emergency. It's a problem.
the
not
one
very
time
often
that
I have to do it. But I do have, like 270 has that
that little rod. That little rod where you can heat up and then steer your own line on there.
Yeah, I've had a chunk of metal in my toolbox for years, and I was kind of mad when I saw they came out with that. I was like, damn it.
You could have capitalized on that. You'd be retired by now.
Right?
Right? Should have done something with that.
Right.
Oh
So
well.
tell me there's a piece of metal in your toolbox with some channel locks or something. That you
Right.
heat it up with a
Yeah,
torch and finish off my lines. I'm learning so much
Right.
about SDA. This is great.
I had a
That's
piece
kinda
of
like-
3/16 flat
Well,
bar.
Brennan
in
brings
my-
up the
in my
kitchen
trailer
bouquet, and
for a while.
I can honestly say I've never painted anything out of kitchen bouquet. Like,
Okay.
Okay.
I've seen people do it, and whatever, it is what it is. If you can blend it in and make it look good, okay. I
Yeah.
don't know, but for the most part, if you got the lines don't have to be absolutely perfect. There's got to be a pretty big
Yeah.
problem to really
Mhm.
worry about. You look at the speed that people have to judge, and it's
Exactly.
got to be a pretty big problem. It's got to be a big eyesore before I really worry about fixing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one time that I did really paint one, Richfield, we got a big rainstorm, and anyway, my grill was next to the canopy, and all of a sudden it just dumped a whole bunch of water on it. Anyway, I had no color on my grill lines. I ended up painting them in
Oh,
and got like fourth.
That's fine. It's
It worked
fine.
out.
There we go. It worked out in your favor. It's fine.
That tells me everybody else didn't have grill marks on their steaks either. Then
Well,
Right?
the funny thing is, it was only half. Oh, they looked pretty good when I was done
Right.
painting them, but
Honestly, you guys
Picasso
know.
over here.
Yeah, you guys know me. I really don't give a damn about my. I give a damn about my steaks, but I like to have fun too. There's a reason why I cooked
Yeah.
a steak in a pizza oven. There's a reason why I did a steak in an air fryer. There's a reason just to have fun because I just wants to mix it up and I just want to see if I can actually not take last. So,
Yep.
so I am a firm believer of not trying to rely on something else to be able to help me have an advantage. I just rather I'm there to have fun. Of course we want to win, but the reason why we do all barbecue sports, I'm going to bring that reason why I said sports is because that's going to be our next hot take, is because it's fun. We get around and hang out with our friends, right? Exactly. Now, since I brought up the word sports, is barbecue a food sport? And why are even we associating the word sport with this?
I think it's sport because it's a competition,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but really we're just playing with food.
Yes, agreed. But I was talking to Amanda about this. I was like, but technically, I feel like it's more sportish. Like, because there's days, especially here in Utah, it's 100 degrees outside. You're under a canopy in front of fire. You're dying. It's hot. It takes some stamina to just be able to make it through the day without falling over and dying of dehydration, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of it's not. Yeah, we're not running marathons, but still, this takes a lot to withstand all of that.
Right. It can be brutal.
Yeah. Derek, I know you guys. You're thinking of something. Fire it off, man.
it's definitely not a sport. It's not a sport. Because you got people out there running from end to end of a field in 103-degree weather or whatever it may be, or running a marathon. It's not a sport. It's in my
What's the
eyes. It's
difference?
okay.
What's the difference between you running at the jack to make turn-ins and it's 100 degrees out there, and you're running a quarter of a mile?
Or if it's raining at the jack, right? And
Yeah.
you're trenching through mud. So
Yeah.
first off, we don't get orange slices at the end of the game. Okay. And a juice box. So
that's your decision.
it's yeah.
My wife's a third
But
grade
I-
teacher. I get that at the end of every competition.
My wife's a preschool teacher, so I am spoiled. So, but I don't see it as a sport. I see it more of a community and a culture. That's how I always chalk it up. I try to refrain from calling it a sport because I pay a lot of respect to actual athletes out there. But you're right. I've even said this to my wife one time. 2022 we cooked a lot of contests. I think we did 16 contests that year. That was a lot for us. That was our rookie year. Then it kind of slowed down in coming years. And then when we go cook a contest, whether it's a double, I'm like, I am out of barbecue shape, like competition shape,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of standing. It is, and some people, I know when I'm at a contest, I don't sit a whole lot. I will stand from 4 a.m. till, almost awards because I'm loading trailer, unloading, whatever it is. Right. So it can be daunting. It is tiring. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But I don't see it as a sport. That's just my take.
Got it. Brendan Nelson says bowling's not a sport. That has no running.
Is fishing a sport?
No, they got to exercise that arm though.
I got to exercise my arm turning ribeyes.
Yeah.
That ball weighs more than your your meat press.
All right. So that one is tabled. We need more people to put in on this one. We got the Mike Loose. He wants to know. He says, as soon as someone says I make my own rubs and sauce and everyone loves it, it's like, okay, to stop listening to anything else they have to say.
make somebody pay for it. See how much they love it then.
Right?
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
neighbors love free barbecue, right?
No, 100%.
They're not going to tell you it sucks because they want to keep giving food.
Yes.
But does it? maybe you're giving it and they're like, oh, so excited, and they go in and throw it straight in the trash can. You don't know this.
Yeah. And no, that's a valid point. An old timer told me that too. It's like everybody's gonna love your barbecue, especially if it's free. You want to know when it's good is when people are paying for it and they're not going to complain. I'm like, and that's valid. I see that, especially when I do caterings. I try to help people out within their budget, but I'm not looking for the low budget, looking for a deal saving. It's, just like with my tattoo artist, I'm paying for your arts and skills that you've brought to the table that brought you to this point, and you are in high demand. I'm not going to bargain with you. So it's kind of the same rule of thumb for me. I'm not saying I have a big head, but I know what I bring to the table. You're going to get good quality. I'm going to put my heart into it. So, and that's what you're going to pay for. And I'm not going to overcharge either, but I'm going to charge you a fair price. And some perceive it as, it could be steep for them. And that's fine. You can go to Dickies. You can go to, Famous Dave's or whoever else is out there. That's fine. That there's somebody really like Dickies out there. I'm sorry.
It wouldn't take much to come up with a rub that's better than Dickies.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. So
we can all agree on that.
Everybody has a rub, and it's let me guess: salt, pepper, paprika.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit cayenne for kick. And you got some garlic powder and onion powder on, right? Just different ratios.
Well, people ask this all the time. I'm pretty sure you guys get the same question. So how do you make your rub? I don't make my rub. There's people that make it way better than I do, and I'm
100%.
more than happy to spend $12 for that bottle of rub versus spending $80 to make something that's not a consistent. It's not going to be the same every time.
And know your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
like, I'm not a rub maker. I'm not a flavor maker. I know that. I can go get something for $12 that is better than I could ever do. I'm just going to go spend the $12.
Exactly.
I'm good at basic math, but you don't want me to be your accountant. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
So I know how to stay in my lane. So when they ask about, hey, I like to use a quarter cup of Jesse's 7 Sins along with a quarter cup of Blues. And they're like, whoa, what? And I'm like, yes, I'm mixing all these different ones, commercial and that are backyard / personal owners, because I want to support them. Yeah, it's a mix, but it's a phenomenal product. You pay for it, don't you?
Now, coming from the person who caters, how do you feel about this aspect of Mr. Nate Benson?
I do actually use my sauce in competition. And I got a perfect chicken first time out cooking chicken in KCBS. So,
but you're an outlier in that.
I know.
and that's awesome.
But the first time when I started cooking, Steve Johnson told me, don't use your own stuff, use the other stuff. It's more consistent. But and for a long time I didn't use my sauce, but as it evolved and got to where I wanted it, then I started using it, and I've had good results. So
now,
but
all you new people that are listening,
it's definitely the outlier.
Good.
Right. Yep. Now, we're not discouraging you on making your own rubs. No. We're not. Buy them. They're going to be more consistent. If you want to have a more consistency at home, buy yourself a scale. We're not measuring by teaspoons, tablespoons, anything like that. Buy a scale and mix your ingredients like that, and then you will have more consistency at home. If you want to do your own rubs and sauces at home.
So I invested in one that does, decimal points of grams scale.
Yep.
And so
a drug scale.
Yep.
Hey, don't talk about my side business. Anyway, but I mix like for our steak rub, I mix it to the, 10th of a gram, the ratios when we do our, you know, but like if I make my own brisket rub for catering, and I use that scale, and it's the same ratio every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're just throwing stuff together, even if you're using measuring spoons, it's not going to be consistent.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
if you want consistent, if you just want something, if you want something that you play around with, that's great. Do it. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for something consistent, the easiest way, and I'll be honest, chicken and pork, I buy products for those two,
There you go.
so that my catering's consistent. And I used to try and make everything when I catered, and you learn pretty quickly. They want you to have the meats really well, and they want really good tasting sides. Anything outside of that, I'd make my own salad dressings and this and that and the other. And now I'm like, if it's not one of these things that will set me apart, I'm probably buying it. I'm buying something. I'll look for something that I like a lot, but yeah.
That's a great
And
perspective.
Yeah.
It is. And it simplifies everything. But also another thing, especially people going to a co-packer, especially when they do come out with their own rub, the best way. So not only just weighing it like you're talking about to the decimal, but another thing they don't take in consideration, I need to go make a batch of rub, and they're pulling out the paprika or the onion powder that's been sitting in their cabinet for the last 2 years. It loses potency. It loses flavor.
true.
Versus they're like, how come it doesn't taste as good as the last batch? Or, they give it to a friend and like, yeah, it wasn't as good as your last batch that you did, 2 times ago. And it's like, oh yeah, well, it's the same material I was using, the same powders, because I never replenished them. Versus when you go to a co-packer, they're continuously going through bags and bags of paprika. So they're getting replenished and fresh. So that's another thing most people don't take into consideration is you're not using quality products at that point, especially if it's just been sitting in your cabinet or cupboard.
And when I buy spices, I buy it according the size I buy or the amount I use determines the size I buy.
Yeah, so based on the batch, if you're going to make
reason.
a certain size or a certain batch, this is how much I need to get. So I go through all the ingredients, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
For example, I go through chili powder a lot faster than I go through mustard. And so I'm going to have a little thing of mustard and a big thing of pepper, chili powder. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Replace your spices every about 6 months. If it's older than 6 months, it's probably lost its potency point.
Yeah. Derek, do you have any other hot takes on the top of your dome?
The only one I have on the top of my dome that seems to come up consistently is, especially on the West Coast, especially California, and you guys are kind of spread out.
Oh, here we go. I know where this is going.
So this has come up on many threads I've seen. What does California know or the West Coast know about barbecue? And I guess that would fall for the same thing if you're in Wisconsin as well, right?
Utah as well.
I saw that side eye, like, yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But then also it's like, oh, look at the trophies.
Right? Why does Texas have to deem themselves as the best barbecuers? Right?
Wait, I thought it was Kansas City that deemed themselves as the best.
Yeah, exactly. See, here it is.
That was North Carolina.
Yeah. I'll just tell you what. If there was ever a competition with these restaurants, then you can have some bragging rights. Other than that, I feel like on the competitive level, there's no standout difference. I don't know, Scott. How many SCA rings are in your region? But anyways.
Was that a stab or was that something to brag about? I don't know how to take it.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was say I feel like you guys would be really good at cooking steaks up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But yeah, I agree. Like, why does a certain state or certain city have to deem that they're the home of barbecue?
Because they grew up with tradition.
Yeah, there it goes. Prime rib people.
Right. It comes down to tradition. Like, I'm in Wisconsin. We don't have a long and storied barbecue tradition. Barbecue up here means we're throwing hot dogs and burgers on the grill.
I was gonna say I thought it would be brats.
Yeah.
Brats and
that's a
Polish
brat fry.
sausage.
That's a
Yeah.
brat fry. And
Yeah, see?
why do you call it a
With
fry?
cheddar
You put
cheese.
it on the grill. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense. We don't know anything about barbecue. So when the
Yeah.
bastards that do want to learn about barbecue get serious about it, you do a deep dive and you take the best from everywhere. You
Yeah.
jump in and learn everything you can. You take all the good points of all the good stuff that's out there, and you have no emotion about it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
love vinegar sauce. That's great. That's Carolinas. You know,
Yeah.
I love black pepper. That's from Texas. Put it all together. You know,
I love
add a little
sweet.
bit of sweet.
Yep.
Exactly.
So we get into, you talk about the tradition. Sometimes that kills your growth. We get into that whole going back to the fat side up, fat side down. If your buddy's been cooking, your family's been cooking on an offset forever, you're fat side up, and all of a sudden you're cooking on a pellet grill, but now because you're soaked in that tradition, I'm always going to go fat side up. Maybe you're causing issues for yourself.
100%.
Exactly.
And I think 200, 300, 400 years ago, that's all they knew was regional anyways. They didn't venture that far out of the Carolinas to go try Texas barbecue to see what that was like. It was just, that's all they knew. And then by generation, that's all they knew.
Exactly. At that point, you couldn't get Carolina ingredients in Texas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was what's available, where you're cooking it.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Exactly. And it kind of goes back to that whole barbecue history thing too. You can dive down there and be like, well, barbecue was born in the South, right? It's they have this history, but no, it wasn't. Barbecue was anything over open fire. Native Americans were cooking over open fire.
Yeah.
People
Exactly.
The Samoans were
Yeah.
doing, digging a pit and putting
Yeah.
a pig in it.
Yeah.
It's been going on for as long as man's had fire.
Exactly. So worldwide, we all have that certain pit master in our neighborhoods that is amazing that we'd point all of our friends to, right? So yes, Derek, great hot take. That one's good. That one is going to be one that if we get anybody from Kansas City or Texas on here, we're screwed because they're going to argue.
But I want to hear their points. I want to know.
Yes,
but also at the same
exactly.
time, it's like, have you left that region? But then again,
Yeah.
also, where did you go on the West Coast, or where did you go in Texas?
Exactly.
Well,
Dickies does not count.
And how many generations of your family have been cooking the same recipe on the same pit?
exactly.
And it'd be hard for me too
because it's
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Right.
100%. I'd be probably
know.
married to that too. I'd be like, no, I
What if
can't. I don't know anything different.
What if there's
I
a
loved
guy
Count
that's in,
chocolate when I was a kid. It's not that good anymore. I don't know.
would you take offense to somebody who is from Wisconsin that said that they could cook a better tri-tip than you?
Ooh, it is a steak, and there's some good steak. Well, I don't know. Is it a steak or is it a roast? Maybe that's a different episode. We need to touch into that.
That's an argument in itself. There's a
It
lot
is
of
right.
argument
Tri-tip.
there.
Some people, because I remember my family in the Midwest. I told them about tri-tip. Like, I don't know where that is. That beef? I'm like, oh. I was like, yeah. You guys put that in grind, don't you? You guys grind that into ground beef.
It's
Yeah.
hard to find up here. It really is.
Versus on every corner here, even at the liquor store. But yeah, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, we can save that one for another episode, I guess. If you had me back.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think I want to do some hot take episodes throughout the season of this 2026, just because one, people like to listen to both sides. Some people really like to just throw it out there. And honestly, when it comes down to anything barbecue, if you have meat and fire and you get a great end result, that's all that matters. Is it
Exactly.
edible for you or your guest? Now, if you roast them and mess them up, and we're going to talk some shit if you do, that's on you. That is on the cook. But if you have fire and meat and you turn out a great product, it doesn't matter how you got there. You got there.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
There's the Julia Child quote that I love. Good food is good food.
Yeah.
That's the end of the statement. If it's good food,
Exactly.
who cares? You can try and label it, but like these traditions, there's things to learn from them, but if you're so stuck in them, it's the enemy of progress too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I guess Brennan has one more question for you, and it's aimed right at you, Scott. He wants to know, let's hear about rib cook-offs. We can't get them out here.
Really?
Yeah, well, there hasn't been, I don't think there has been one west of Oklahoma.
Oh wow, got to get some
Yeah.
promoters on board with that. It's been fun doing that. That is very different compared to cooking like SCA or even KCBS, where it's trained judges. It's judges off the street, which is kind of my understanding is that's more like Texas style. A lot of the like CBA and outlaw and
CBAs,
stuff
yeah.
is judges off the street. So that's been kind of fun. It's been a fun adjustment with that. Just cooking food I want to eat, and it's I got some second places with that. I still got to figure out what the people want, but
trust me,
I'm
I've been
working
trying to figure that out with my chili recipe forever. You know,
Yep.
there's a couple 3, 4, 5 second place trophies of chili back there.
Nice.
No first
heard
place.
I heard you got second place this last one.
I did.
Who's the jerk that beat you?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that, Nate.
And who was the promoter of that one? I forget.
Yeah, Nate. Rigged. He's admitting it was rigged right now on the spot.
There
He
it
is
is.
admitting.
They're demanding a recount.
Yes.
No, you-
Let's knock
you-
off all the Chads and then let's redo it, okay?
Jeez. Oh, going there.
This is a hot take, all right? Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. Like I said, I think I want to do this. This was fun. I want to get more
That was
people
fun.
involved. Think of those questions, like I said, this is never to, personally attack anybody or to, start arguments online. It's more or less, let's get it out there. Let's really see why people are saying these things in barbecue, right? Let's figure it out. I'm all about, transparency and being able to understand why, especially coming from
And I
a
believe
new person
there-
getting into it. Like, why are they arguing over fat side up or down? It's all
Right.
about just growing the community and just becoming more of a friend and a bond and just hash out your reasonings why. And maybe somebody will give it a shot. Somebody will not, it's not to disrespect anybody ever.
And I believe there's a lot of truth to all the what people are saying. Is like we said before, a lot of it's the background is lost in what they're in their assertion.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
And you can kind of circle that right back around to where this whole show started with, what is a pit master?
mhm.
A pit master should be teaching the next generation, should be sharing their knowledge, and should be open to learning more.
Agreed.
So,
Well
There
said,
you go.
Scott.
Yes,
Jeez,
well
there's a reason
said.
why he's a champion.
There
There
it
is
is.
a reason why he's a champion. Well, thank you so much for everybody who stopped by and throw in their comments. The people that listen to the show, just make sure you follow the Pitmasters podcast on all social medias. Visit the website. Go ahead and visit these guys. Go ahead and run through your shout outs if you want to let people know where to find you guys.
I'm on Facebook, Nate Benson. Instagram, UJBPQ.
Perfect.
Facebook is just Scott Nardi. Instagram, Scooter Trash 78.
Love it. Love it.
Classy.
Yes.
Thanks, sponsors.
Yes. And Derek.
You can find me at Derek_Walls on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Same thing with people doing when I do my caterings, they're asking like, am I just tagging you? So I did Walls of Fire as well. So that's in the process right now. So and then also West Coast Barbecue Shop, big shout out to them. They're a barbecue shop down here in San Diego, down in Chula Vista, always taking care of me and keeping me up to date on what's going on in the barbecue community. So
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. And we'll do this again.
all right,
Right on.
I'm in.
All right. See you.
All right, guys.
Bye.